I wanted to do this for the longest, start my own YouTube, right? Record myself, document my journey, document my life in a way. And this is going to be a documentation of my self development journey, post a 10-year relationship. I'm 28 years old. I was in a 10-year relationship. I'm been out of it for about 8 months already, give or take. And yeah, I wanted to start off by saying, my current circumstance, right? The situation where I'm in now. My current circumstance was manifested because of the person that I was, and I'm a whole new person now, and it's just my reality hasn't caught up yet. I'm a whole new person now, and I'm moving with a lot more intention. I feel like I'm living 2, 3 days at a time, you know, to just stay ahead of the game, right? Stay ahead of the curve. And I wanted to do this to, one, as a self fulfilling, I guess, like a self fulfilling prophecy, or what's the word? As a reinforcement, right? To that, as a reinforcement, as far as like, I can do this, right? That self belief. Um, I don't want to say manifesting, because if I can manifest, then with the snap of my fingers, if I say something and speak it, quote unquote, speak it into existence, then I'd have everything I want, right? Everybody would have everything they wanted. So technically, you can't speak anything to existence. You just have to put in the work over a long period of time, and eventually that life reality will catch up to you, right? And so, yeah, my circumstance was manifested because of the person that I was, and I didn't like that person. That old person is dead to me, right? And I was only a fraction of the man that I am today. And for those of you who might be, you know, wanting to strive for more, you're in pain, right? Or you might be depressed, you're hurt, you're angry, especially that hurt. If you're really hurt, man, like, man, probably like 6, 7 months ago, I was really, really, really fucking hurt. I was broken. I was broke financially. I was broke mentally, like emotionally broke, just down bad. In other words, man, like terrible. And and from that came this new me that it's very exciting, for my own future. Like, I'm very excited for my own future, because I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm gonna end up, right? Because of my daily habits, right? And like I said, moving with intention, and just having like a burning desire, which, man, you can move mountains with that shit. And yeah, so those of you who might be going, who feel you might just got over a breakup, you're adjusting to being alone, you're broke financially, you're broke mentally, right? Um, this is like a token to you, because if I can do it, if I can talk myself out of that hole, if I could, um, you know, like look at the glass half full, talk myself out of that hole, right? And come out of that and say, hey, you know what? I still love myself. I believe in myself even more now. And, you just take that power back. And I think the first step is taking accountability. And that's hard for a lot of people. You have to take accountability, um, if you want to start somewhere, start there. Take accountability that It's all your fault. Everything is your fault. You know, literally everything is your fault. Even what you think is out of your control, in some form or another, it's your fault. And that's why I say my current circumstance was manifested because of the person that I was. And so now I'm living the life of the person that I used to be. So that's why that's why in the beginning I say, I'm living 2-3 days at a time, um, as this new person, right? Like I'm living 2-3 days at a time in one day, if that makes sense. Like I have to prepare ahead of time 2-3 days so that I can, the universe and my reality, right, has no choice but to mold into, be a reflection of the person that I am today. And yeah, you know, you build a callus and you build that strength to be able to get yourself out of that hole. And when you come out, I promise, man, like that shit is, it feels really good. You're self-fulfilled. I'm not dependent on that person anymore. I'm not dependent on anybody. I mean, having something as simple as like sleeping alone, bro. Like I slept with that person, for, out of the 10 years, I want to say 8 years, 7 years, like we shared a bed together, and constantly having that proximity, you become codependent naturally. And so, you have someone to talk to, right? And somebody you can like fall back on. And not having that, you have to fall back on yourself in a sense. And it's a really dope, exciting place when you get to that point where you detach and you become whole again, right? By yourself. And part of becoming whole, you start to develop new habits, new way of thinking. You start to care for yourself a little more. And, for me, that self-care is going to the gym, not eating out. And if I do eat out, choose the healthiest option. Um, just reaffirming to myself, right? Like positivity, um, affirmations. Um, you have to change your thinking. Whenever you have a negative thought, um, you know, like stopping that right there in its track, and like you just kind of accept it in a way, but then you just let it go and you just release it, and you just replace it with a positive thought. You have to change your thinking. You have to care for yourself. You have to look out for yourself, love yourself truly. Especially me, man. Like I'm still not, I'm not in the best shape of the world, right? But I'm in a way better shape physically that than I was when I was still living with her. I was in terrible shape, and that shit's embarrassing looking back. But it's just a process, and it's a process. I got so used to putting my time into other people, and now I can kind of be selfish with my time and my decision making, to a certain extent, because I do have my son. But in the weeks that I don't have my son, I mean, I'm locked in. And yeah, just talking better to yourself, right? Reaffirming. And yeah, but all that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go through that pain and that hurt. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need life to kick you in the fucking face, and then you kind of wake up out of that little trance that 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 little wheel, right? That what's it called? That hamster wheel, right? That you're on. You just kind of wake up out of that shit, and you realize like, oh shit, like I'm actually pretty fucked up and I'm pretty down bad, you know. Um, then you start to look within. Like I said, first step is taking accountability, you know, and then the second step is like, all right, forgiving yourself, and now you have to truly like, okay, I have to do everything that is in my best interest. And so stopping and limiting the fucking self-sabotaging behavior, you know, stop fucking with people that don't truly appreciate you. Especially for men, you know, you over here, you might be talking to a girl, you might be chasing a girl, and it's like, bro, you're not even in the place in your life to want to be to where you should be chasing a girl, you know, like you should lock in on yourself, become the best version of yourself, then you'll attract the best version that you know, companion or partner that you need, you know what I mean? Because if you're, one thing I notice is that like if you don't have that self-love and you kind of just allowing people to come into your life, you know, like the opposite sex, it's not the best option for you. You know, you kind of attract what you are, right? And you allow certain shit to happen that somebody who has that self-love, they're not going to tolerate that shit, you know. And that's why I'm saying, like, when you start to think about all that shit, like, it's so exciting because you really put in the work, you know, and you start to see people that don't truly, like, you know, love themselves, right? And so you just don't tolerate the bullshit. You cut that shit off. And it's hella exciting, man. But yeah, the big thing for me is stopping the self-sabotaging behavior. That's like a big thing, you know. Like I don't smoke. I used to smoke all day, every fucking day. I used to smoke. Fuck that. I don't smoke anymore. And if I do, it's like once in a blue moon. It's not even weed anymore. It's like a cigarette or a fucking black and mild, but it's very rare, you know. And honestly, it's very rare. One and two, and it's honestly, I noticed that I only get that craving when I'm in certain environments, and so I don't even put myself in that environment, you know. And a lot of times when I do get those cravings, like I kind of just know how to manage it, but I don't crave it every day, you know. So I don't smoke. That's, to me, that's a self-sabotaging behavior, you know. You know, I just want to be better in every aspect of my life. Drinking, like when I got out of that relationship, right? I didn't work for about 6 months, and you know, I was pursuing something that didn't work out. Why? Because I wasn't the person I needed to be for that to work out. And so again, taking accountability. But when I wasn't working, I mean, I was drinking during the week. I would go out during the week and just kind of fuck off my time just because I didn't have that self-love, right? I was in pain, I was hurt. And you got to cut all that bullshit off, man. You got to cut the noise and stop the self-sabotaging behavior. Another thing is like the people you allow. That's self-sabotaging, right? Like if somebody doesn't appreciate you and they're not taking you serious, and you know, you're tolerating a lot of bullshit, that's self-sabotaging behavior. And if you want to grow, right, and really look within and have that self-care, that self-love, build self-worth, you're not going to tolerate that. And it starts with eliminating that self-sabotaging behavior. And I feel like I've done a really good job limiting all of that. Back to my drinking, I didn't even finish my thought on that. Like I'll drink now, like I still drink. I actually love drinking, but I only drink socially now, you know. And I'm not. And the thing is, I'm not getting shit faced. I'll get drunk, but I'm not getting shit faced, you know. And it's again, it's limiting, right? One and two, it's not every weekend or anything. You know, because one, every other weekend I have my son, and I'm not gonna drink around my son. I need to be fully present around my son, and two, um, you know, especially when now that I'm at the gym, like I'm trying to maximize my gains and my weight loss. So I understand, you know, drinking is just holding you back from achieving that. And, you know, I'm just slowing down my progress, right? So that's a self sabotaging behavior. Doom scrolling is another self sabotaging behavior. And I'm replacing that with reading and journaling. Like I literally have a journal. I have flashcards where I'm doing affirmations. I have a tote bag. I have a tote bag with all my books that I'm reading. Oh, you guys can't really see it, but I literally have a tote. I bought a tote bag to carry all my books. It's like a mental thing for me where if I'm touching the book throughout the day, I'm more likely to read it, right? And so if it's just like, oh, it's at home, it's easier for me to forget, right? And to just, you know, just get on my phone and doom scroll or just, you know, just learn bullshit or whatever, right? If I'm actually physically touching my journals, my books, I'm more likely to pick it up and like open it, read it. So, you know, that's just another form of that self-care, like actually not just working out my physical, but actually working out my mental too. And so, yeah, like this is all part of my self-development journey that I'm on. That, like I said, I'm a whole different person. Like I always been a reader. Same thing, how I've always been a smoker, I've always been a drinker. Like I love to party, but everything is being very limited. Like I'm in bed early every day. And you know, when you go to bed early, you reduce your chances of you know, doing what you're not supposed to do. You know, don't nothing good happen after 11 p.m. You know, for real. Everybody, you guys know what I'm talking about. Don't nothing good happens after that shit. So if I'm in bed early, it's like, hey, catch me while I'm up. If not, then you know, I'll see you tomorrow, whatever. I'll see you when I see you type of shit. And because I'm up at 3 a.m. Well, that's a lie. My alarm goes off at 3 a.m. My second at 3:10. I don't get out of bed till about 3:30. By the time I'm actually out the house, it's like 3:45, 3:50. So I'm at the gym at 4 a.m. It takes me a whole hour to get up, get out of the house. But I'm up though. I'm up at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Like I'm up at 3:30. And what happens, then I work all day. I come home. I spend time with my son. I eat. I shower. By that time, bro, I'm dozing off. And it's time for bed. So it's like, it limits me fucking off my time, like, late at night, you know? And so, truly, like, you know, you can't deal with somebody because, I mean, you can, but I'm choosing not to, you know, because I feel like I need to focus on me 100%. And doing this, right? Like, doing this, like I said in the beginning, is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like I'm speaking to myself, but really I'm talking to hundreds and possibly in the future thousands of people where you know, it's just like it can have a domino effect. And if I can have just like a tiny bit of if I can be responsible for a tiny bit of like just changing somebody's life and maybe being like that big brother, that father, or that just that voice that I needed when I was, you know, going through my shit. If I can be that for somebody else, you know, if because I feel like we need more content like this, you know, like the funny shit is cool, the all the other stuff, like all that is cool, but when I was really going through my shit, I read a statistic that changed my life, and it was, I don't even remember the number. I just remember it was something crazy that it was like, for every hour, I don't know how many thousands of men commit suicide. And I read that like in one of my like worst little moments that I was darkest moments that I was going through, and it just did something to me, in a positive way, like in a real way, and it really did something to me. And I'm like, man, that's like, if there was just more content, right, to help us in that way, man, like, you can't change the world. You can change yourself, and then by changing yourself, you put that out there, and it can help somebody else, and it'll just, like I said, it's a domino effect. You're creating good karma, and you're being of service to others. And I'm not religious. I don't go to church. I do believe in God, and you know what? Honestly, every now and then I do look at, I do pick up verses from the Bible, because there is a lot of wisdom in there, and it's been helpful, But like I said, I don't go to church. I don't identify with a religion, but and I might misquote the verse, but it's something along the lines of, let him who is greatest among you be of service to you all. And I feel like for so long in my life, I've always kept it humble, right? Like, oh, I'm just cool, calm. Like, I'm a normal dude, right? Like, I'm lowering my status. But now I've come to a point where it's like, no, I want to be great. Like, I am great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was made in his image. So who am I to really like humble myself and like put myself down here when God made us up here, right? And that's, again, like, in a way, I've always been humble. Maybe I got humbled and I don't remember what happened, but like, in a way, you want the best for yourself, and so I view myself as great. I view myself as a leader. I view myself as a positive, as a positive role model. And I feel like I can make a change in people's lives. So that, when I read that, I understood that in order to really, truly feel fulfillment in your life, you need to be of service to people. And honestly, I have. And it feels amazing, and it does feel fulfilling, and that gives me the confidence. It gave me the confidence to even want to do this. I'm on my lunch. I can spend my lunch, just being selfish, right? And just go work out and go eat and just, watch my favorite show or read my book or whatever. But I'm actually being selfless by doing this, right? And putting this out there and putting myself out there and being transparent, because I have that confidence, that being of service to other people gave me that confidence, and I feel fulfilled, and all I want to do is put it out there and be of service to other people. Even I don't know who I'm gonna be of service to, but I know that I'm gonna be of service to somebody. And so it's just a really good feeling, And so it's kind of like that quote, right? Like, only a fool will count the seeds in an apple, but God knows how many apples come from a seed, which is a pretty dope, deep quote. Just putting positivity out there. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm just documenting my self-development journey in hopes that it inspires and sparks an idea in other people who are in the same position that I was when I was down bad, I was broke, everything, So I'm gonna keep it short. This is it. this is barely video one, and it's super exciting. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, any topics, feel free to reach out to me, whatever. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna, get I'm trying to get comfortable getting gym footage and recording myself in public. Like, I do a lot of dope shit in my free time sometimes, but I just don't have. Sometimes I just be so in the moment. I don't record myself. I don't whip my phone out and record myself, or you know what I mean. Like, it's just, I have to get accustomed and get used to doing that and reminding myself, like, hey, record all this shit. But yeah, but this is it for now. And I'll see you guys fucking the next video. But yeah, just stay tuned. Love yourself. Stop the self-sabotaging behavior. If somebody that's near you that you're dealing with, that they don't truly fuck with you, and you're tolerating bullshit, cut it off. Because if you don't cut it off, you're reinforcing that you don't have that self-worth, that value for yourself. Cut that shit off. Stop reinforcing those beliefs, those limiting beliefs that come from fear. Move with love, for real. Move with intention. Be selfish with yourself. Want the best for yourself, right? Like, you gotta want the best for yourself. But yeah, that's my message for today. That's my message for life, for real, really. And but yeah, I'm gonna be tapping into different topics. And but yeah, this is it. So peace.